All right, everybody, we're back, and I hope you had a good chance to take some a breather on your break. How are you guys doing? Holding up pretty well? Uh, I know the 4 hours is a long time, but we're cranking along pretty good. We're about halfway through, and I trust that this is valuable information for you. I hope that you're being able to get a lot of good practical things that'll help you in your journey as an entrepreneur yourself, as a coach and a consultant. Take some of these things and put them into practice. So tell me, what are you going to put into practice? What are some of the takeaways or little nuggets that you've been able to glean from what we've gone through so far? Share those in the chat with me and let's find out. Okay. Yeah. All right, some good stuff is beginning to stick in your head. The whole dream client idea, yeah, where you're super clear on not just whoever comes through the door, but on who you would like to work with. Kind of take it from the other way around. Yeah, turning your program into a grid. Mm-hmm. Awesome, yeah. Yeah, the elevator pitch. We've all heard about elevator pitches, but not too many people get around to really making a good one they're comfortable with. You're right. Yep. All right. And let's see some of the homework that you guys have done over the break. I hope you started to fill in the worksheet and you've been able to get a little bit of a head start on some of the practical side of this process. Let me see what you've got. Raise your hand, stick it in the chat if you want, and we will evaluate those a little bit. And I've got a special prize for those who have been involved in doing their homework, and I want to make available to you a very valuable resource that will help you as you move along and do some of this practical stuff. It's a program that helps you with copywriting, and so you can get all of your different elements of your funnel and your this initial work, as even the graphics part of your Boom funnel, Boom product grid, and get those put into a format that is distributable and useful and has good, well-written copy. I'll get you access to that if I see that you've got your homework done. How's that? Okay, we're starting to see some of those results. Like what I see. Good. Yeah. We're going to have to tweak a little bit on that last part. Yeah, I know the time was short. There wasn't enough time to really get all the way through it in a quality way, but you've got a good start. And the fact that you engaged your mind in the process is what makes a difference, makes it stick a lot better. So as you come away from this event, you'll lose a whole lot less of it. If you just listen and then you come back later and be like, BPG, what was that again? USS? But if you've been working on it and you know, here's my ultimate summary statement. Yeah, USS, I know what that is again. And plus you wrote it down, so hopefully. So good. Now we've got that underway. You've got your, I'm going to turn my screen back on so we can keep going. There we go. Okay, we did the first stage. Now let's go on to number 2. I like to darken things up a lot here. You can do that with the pen settings, but the second one, which is built on top of the bedrock, and now we're getting into the building, you know, remember the skyscraper illustration. We have the bedrock, the foundation, the underground part that nobody sees, all figured out now, set into place, ready to build. And now it's time to put together the machine, if you want to call it that. I like to call it that. It's a digital machine that systematically turns cold leads and prospects into paying customers. So it's just that process, that pipeline, as you move them from, where they don't know anything about you perhaps, or they just ran across an ad that you posted, or a blog post that came up in their search results. This is the first time they've heard of you, okay? Are they ready to buy your product? Probably not. Don't know you a bit. But as you move them along, introduce yourself, begin to engage with them, have the chance to share information, and they go like, good, yeah, I like that. Those kinds of touches in a marketing sense become the process of moving someone through your funnel. It's a nurturing process. And so you've got a lead magnet that magnetically pulls people into your world. And then you've got a nurturing sequence that will build them into fans and loyal followers. But eventually they need to turn into clients. They need to buy something. And so they will, you'll develop a conversion event, or a conversion call, or maybe it's a personal meeting. Depends on what you're doing and how you work. But this process exists in every business in the world. Okay, every successful business has a process to pull people into their world, to nurture that relationship until they're ready to buy, and then a process where they become customers. Makes sense, right? I mean, it's as basic as you can get. But you would not believe the percentage of people that do not have this in place. And they want to jump right from coming into coming into contact. I'm going to do some marketing now, and they start running ads. Ads are up here, right? Your funnel comes in late, or your funnel has to be ready to receive the traffic that your ads generate. And a lot of people want to jump right to the ads, and right to the blog posting, and right to the social media, and posting stuff on Instagram and TikTok. And whoa, hold on a second. Okay, we'll get to that, but I need you to back up a little bit and prepare the way for those people to come into your world. Prepare the processes and the materials that they will receive, that will build up your authority and their confidence in you, and make them ready to become clients. So yeah, because think about it on your own life. Maybe for small, low ticket purchases, you might be scrolling through Instagram feed and you see a product, or maybe on Pinterest, and you're like, oh, that's cool, awesome. And you click on it and it goes right to a website, and you're like, yeah, cool. And you buy it, right? But when does that happen with a high ticket coaching? Or when does that happen with a training program for losing weight? And it's really involved and has a big outcome, big promise, and a big ticket price tag. When does that happen as an impulse buy? Almost never. So what I want you to do is think through, why am I running ads? What is the traffic going to come to? If they click on something, what will it lead to? I don't know the number of clients that came to my agency and wanted to put together social media campaigns, and they want me to create art and post those. And I said, okay, they're going to click on it. Where will they go? Like, as if they already had a landing page ready, I thought. And they're like, I don't know. And they didn't even stop to think that we're trying to generate a click. We're trying to generate a traffic, interest, but just putting information out there for branding purposes, that's for big companies. That's for huge multi-million-dollar companies who already have reached that critical mass. They've already got total infrastructure, like Coca-Cola, for example, or Nike. They can just run an ad that shows their swoosh, and it helps reinforce their brand. But when you're I don't want to say a nobody, okay, don't take me wrong. If you're unknown and somebody's just now running across you, you can't just put a brand on it and go away. You can, but it's a waste of money. So what I want you to do is think through, where am I sending my traffic? Okay, first of all, they're going to come after a lead magnet that I just showed them, and it was attractive. So they came in, they signed up, and now we can take care of them. Now I've got their contact information. Maybe it was from Facebook and I've got them in a group. Maybe it's an email address. Maybe it's a physical business card. I mean, sometimes you have to copy down their phone number and send them a message, an SMS or something. Doesn't matter. But the point is that you have a process in place, and that it can be measured, and that it can be adjusted to optimize it, and that it produces a predictable result. That's what allows you to create a money machine online. And so this second stage here, let's see if we can darken that one up, just simply called build. We're going to build out our funnel. I'll even write that down here. Funnel. We're going to build the funnel that will, or some companies that have a larger number of steps in there, call it a pipeline, sales pipeline. There's the buyer's journey. There's the buyer's cycle, buying cycle. Sometimes this is a long process. You need to evaluate your own business and how that works, and how long people take from the time they first hear about you until they become a client. Is that a process of a year? I mean, as my agency and some of the bigger projects that I took on, it was a good year sometimes between the time the person first met me at a networking event, realized what I do, and kind of put me, in their Rolodex thing of ideas, and went back to their company and talked about, we need to put together our training portal, and dbSmall would be a great option for us to use. And then they decide, all that red tape that bigger companies have to go through. It would take sometimes a year before I would get a client from the time when they first heard about me. Other times it was something quick. I need to make a video for my social media profile. You do video? Oh, great. Yeah, can I come next week? I'll be there. And so they set up an appointment, they come in the studio, film a quick video, and boom, they're done. That buying cycle depends on what it is that you do and how you do it, and what your normal processes are. So you want to evaluate that. That funnel sometimes can be shortened up. It can be made more efficient by removing some of those stages that frankly drag things out more than they need to. Now, you can't jump the gun and ask somebody to marry them on their first date, but you can shorten it up where you're not just dragging things out for the sake of dragging them out. I know if you set up a nurture sequence for your emails, they would go out every other day, or maybe once a week, or it's a process of sending out emails and building up authority and creating that interaction. And that's good. That's essential. You want to do that. Don't get me wrong. But if you sort of refuse to try and sell and bring them in as a client until after they've received like 3 months of emails, you can shorten that up. Okay. You can shorten that up drastically. And we'll cover a few of the ideas of how, without sacrificing sales. In fact, increasing it, because what happens is at each one of these stages, you end up losing some people, unfortunately. Obviously, not everybody that comes into your initial landing page trying to get your lead magnet is going to go all the way through to the very end to become a client. No, you lose some of them. Some of them are just after a freebie. Some of them read it and decide it's not for them. Some of them forget about you. Maybe your follow-up didn't get through, and they just lost track. Anyway, doesn't matter how, but the fact is that you end up losing a little bit of the people along the way at each stage of your journey. So by shortening it up and removing some of those stages, it's less opportunities for leaks, if you want to call it that, less opportunities for people to fall out of your lead flow. Great. Okay, here we are talking about the lead magnet. Now, what is that lead magnet? I think I put perfect lead magnet because ideally we want to build something that's perfect for your audience. That magnet is something that is so irresistible to them that they will fall over themselves wanting to get it. Something that is attractive because it solves a problem that they have. And really and truly, nobody wants another ebook. But what people do want is a way to solve a problem that they feel, or a pain that they're suffering right now. They want a solution for it. And if you can provide, in a quick, brief, easy to deliver way, a solution to a particular problem that your dream client is feeling, they will fall all over themselves to get that. And oftentimes you can deliver that for free. You can deliver a partial solution, not a partial solution, but a solution to a partial problem. What do I mean by that? Inside of your whole solution here, there are little parts, right? You've got a dream client, you've got a unique selling solution, blah, blah, blah. You've got all these segments, and each one of them also has a problem that they solve. All of this solves a problem. You go from point A to point B. And your client, if they start out here and goes through these stages, will eventually experience the transformation that you promised. Well, there's also, if you stop and think about it, an A to B inside of each of these little quadrants. Yeah, because if you start out, you don't know who your dream client is, you don't know what their dream outcome is, you're unclear about what you want to deliver and what they would buy most, and you haven't done research yet, and let's say you're confused, you're muddled, you're not clear on any of it. Well, by the end of this stage right here, by the end of working on this process, you'll have perfect clarity on who you serve and what the final outcome is, the result of working with you. And it's so key, because otherwise you don't know who to approach or how to approach them or what language to use and what you're going to offer to them. So this is an essential step. But as you can see, within that step, there is a mini transformation taking place, right? A growth process. Same thing here. Now, when you start out, your point A is that you don't have a statement. You don't express it clearly. Maybe every time you tell somebody what you do, it comes out a little bit differently, or a lot differently sometimes. And it's not attractive. It's not the kind of statement that really turns people on and says, yeah, ooh, I want to work with him, or that's me. They don't identify themselves in your expression. And the point B then, as you work on the unique selling, ultimate selling statement, is that you come out at the end with a clear message. You come out with messaging that is flexible enough to adapt in different situations, because obviously you're not going to use identical wording, and every time you use it, you sound like a robot. No, you're going to adapt it, but it's got the same fundamental elements. And you've got to define those fundamental elements, or you can't use them in other ways, right? Some people say you've got to learn the notes before you can play jazz. And that's true, because jazz is a free expression, especially the what's it called when you're free forming, you're improvising. When you're improvising, you're using the particular elements and chords and structures and the vocabulary of jazz to express the music in an individual way. But you still need to know the basics. You need to know the music theory and the chords as they were initially written out and how they flow from one to the other, the progression, blah, blah, blah. Same thing with the business here. We need to understand exactly where we're starting so that we can express that in other ways, in various ways. The Boom Product Grid, what you're starting out with is an unclear solution for your clients. Now you've outlined what the end product is, what the result is, but how do you get there? So this is the who and the what and the now we're getting into the how. How are you going to deliver that dream outcome? What is the process that you're going to use? What is your product? How is that going to happen? So your B, obviously, when you're done grinding over all those thoughts and putting your processes and thoughts down on paper, you're going to end up with a clearly defined program, right? That's your product that you're going to sell. Within that are all the little transformations in the steps that your clients will take as they move along to a solution that they can look back and say, wow, I'm up here now, and I didn't used to be. I used to be down here with all those problems in my life, and now because I went through so-and-so's program, I'm up here now on top of the world, and things are better for me now, and things are different, and I've lost 30 pounds in 90 days, and I don't know, whatever your solution offers. But that's the program that they're going to get to do it by. So we've got a mini transformation taking place in here. Now, what can you do with all those mini transformations? Very interesting thing when you're coming up with lead magnets and you think, well, what can I attract people with? What can I use? An ebook about, you don't know what to put in your ebook. Well, scrap the ebooks. Let's think about what do your people, ideal dream clients, want. They want solutions, right? They want what's going to make their life better. Now, you can't offer them all of this for free because it's just too much, right? But you can offer them mini transformations, mini growth processes. You can solve little problems for free initially in a probably an abbreviated way, right? Like we're doing here today. Obviously, this is a program that takes a lot more work, and to dive deep and really hash it all out is more than just a 4-hour process. But initially, we can start that in a 4-hour period. Great. You can also do the same thing for your clients by looking at what are some of the problems that are hot for them. What do they really want to solve? Which, by the way, usually are not the problems that they need to be taken care of. Remember that 80-20 with where is it, the iceberg thing? Remember, most of the time people are looking for solutions that seem sexy. They seem like, oh yeah, I'm going to get this webinar outline, or I'm going to learn the 15 winning posts for Instagram, or those things that really attract a lot of attention. But they're up here in this 20% part. That's not where you start. You start down here. But if you talk about a lead magnet for coming up with a ultimate statement, a lot of times that's not quite so attractive. They're like, yeah, that's important, but I'd rather focus on the Instagram posts. It's that kind of thing that people will gravitate towards those items at the top here. And that's okay. You can bring people in to talk about Instagram posts, but then you explain it, what, this is great, but it's part of a whole process. It's part of a bigger picture. And let me show you the rest of it. And so what you've done is offered them something attractive. They've come in, they've gotten it, you've solved a problem for them. Yeah, because you're going to tell them what those 15 Instagram posts are or whatever it was. They then realize by talking with you and consuming the material that, oh, this is part of something bigger. Okay, what is that bigger picture? And they will go further into your funnel, if we say it that way. They will engage with you more to find out more information if it's something that's attractive to them. If the bigger picture solves a bigger problem, then for sure they're going to want to know more about it. So that the point that I'm trying to make here is that these lead magnets, now that you've got a a process mapped out, your perfect lead magnets can be all the little parts of your Boom product grid. So you can take this grid apart into pieces and make each one into a lead magnet. How's that for easy? Because you've already created it. You've already got the information there. You don't have to go out and hire a writer to make an ebook. Nothing wrong with that. That can be useful too. But let's keep it simple at the beginning, okay? Let's use what you already have and what you know is already attractive through the initial research and understanding of your dream client's mindset and dreams and goals and outcomes. Now you've got a process. Now you've got a step-by-step way to get that dream outcome. And each step becomes the solution to that little step's problems, or it creates a particular outcome in that little level. So take each one of those little levels and make them into attractive little products that can be easily displayed. You know, I like to work with visuals, and if you show a visual in your ad or in your post or something that allows people to see it and be attracted to it, a lot of times a visual element will just draw them right in, and they'd say, I think I need that. That looks like a really cool little check sheet, checklist, or a framework, and wow, it'll solve my problem. Maybe if you've got 15 Instagram posts, we're kind of using that example. Show them on a piece of paper. Say, here's your 15 posts, and you can change them up however you need to. And we've got this 7-point outline of how to structure the message that goes with each one so that it's more effective. And put it all on one piece of paper and show that, or it doesn't have to be a photo of paper, but you know, it's all on one sheet there, graphically illustrating you can have this. Just give us your name and email, or you know, however you have it structured. But it becomes an attractive thing that's easy to produce. Okay, I say easy, you understand, right? So you've got your perfect lead magnet. What would be the next step? What do you think is the next step? Yeah, building authority, right? Building authority, how is that done? Well, the best way, I believe, is to use video. People consume video like crazy nowadays. It doesn't have to be long and boring. It doesn't have to be anything difficult to produce. It can be just like I'm doing here right now, just in front of my webcam talking to you. But if you make a quick little video and place it on the second page of your initial funnel, right? So people sign up and then they get kicked into a page that says, thank you, please check your email for your download. A lot of people just leave it at that. And what a lost opportunity, right? Because this is the page where every one of your signups lands. Later, you'll say, oh, come click on this link and look at this thing. And only some people will click on it. Some people won't even see your email. I mean, from that point on in your funnel, you begin to lose people. So this is a critical page, that thank you page. Page number 2 in your funnel is a perfect opportunity to put in an authority amplifier. And this would be a video, usually a short video, maybe up to, I don't know, if you're really good, 15 minutes, something that's engaging. You're helping them, you're solving a problem. In my situation, I would explain this briefly and just get them to understand a little better that you are an authority in this topic, that they can trust you. So if you look at these 3 stages here, 3 steps, you've got sort of a know, they get to know you, a like, they'll watch your video and either like you or not. You know, if they don't, they'll go away and that'll be the end of it. Or you know, like, and trust. Because once we get to the end here, I think you'll understand what I'm talking about. But this stage here in the middle is critical because they don't know you. And especially if we're talking about cold leads and attracting people that have never heard of you before, all of a sudden they land on a page where you've already given them something really cool. Maybe they haven't had time to consume it yet, but they've seen it, they've wanted it, they've liked it, you've given them a link to download it. And now you've got a quick little video that they're willing to spend a few minutes watching just to understand a little better. Maybe you can structure it that it's an explanation of what they've downloaded so they know how to use it better. but they'll take that information and or they'll sit in front of that video and watch it and get to know you better, get to know who you are, how you talk, what your style is, how you think in terms of applying this information to their lives. And if they resonate with you, if they like you and begin to trust you a little more, they're much more likely, oftentimes quickly, to take a next big step. And you don't rely on a series of emails spread out across a bunch of months, because if you're compelling enough in what you say, a lot of times, even though this is the first time they've seen you, they've gotten to know you, they feel like they've known you for a while, because you compress. I mean, think about us right now. If you've been following me along for this whole time, don't you feel like you know me a little bit? Sure. And it's compressed that period of time where normally it takes maybe, I don't know, lots of touches and then months to get to know somebody. But within a short period of time, since it's kind of an intense video and I'm here talking, we're trading ideas on the chat, it becomes a way to get to know the person in a short period of time. And maybe at the end of that video, you invite them to book a call with you, or you invite them to participate in a webinar that's a little more in-depth. If they're really interested, they'll want to go further, where then you can explain the whole process where the lead magnet had been only one part of it. Got it? Hope I'm making sense there. If you've got some questions, be sure and ask them, because this can be a little bit confusing first time or two. Maybe if you watch the replays, you can pick up a little bit more, but jot down your takeaways and the things that really begin to impact you, and let's make this worthwhile for you. Good. So they come after a lead magnet. They've picked up some information now. They've gotten a little check sheet or something that's useful that they can apply to solve a particular problem in their life. And then in this authority amplifier video, they begin to understand who you are and why they should listen to you, and understand that you really do know what you're talking about. And you can also explain how what they picked up over here actually fits into this bigger grid that you've developed. Okay, so we've gone from defining and refining, and it's another eining word that rhymes there. Developing sort of a clear step-by-step process, to now going to the lead magnet and amplifying our authority. And when they are ready in this authority amplifier stage, if we're talking about time periods, can sometimes be more than just that video. It can be the process that comes along afterwards, a follow-up sequence, interaction in a Facebook group, some other ways that your authority becomes amplified. Maybe instead of inviting them to get on a call right away, you show the video, explain how it fits in the big group, in the big picture, and then you invite them to join the Facebook group. And within that group, then you spend time giving them a little bit more information, a little bit more insight, and a little bit more realization that they don't have the full picture, they've gotten a part of it. Create that hunger and that desire for all of it. Maybe rather than a Facebook group, you can send them to a private community. You've got your own, maybe a WordPress-based community that's closed. It would be a place to interact more. Maybe it's a newsletter. Maybe it's you send them right to some of your more intensive blog posts, some long form ones that really go detailed into what it is. Whatever it might be, I'm just trying to let you know that it's not just one video, right? The authority amplifier video is important. It's an initial way to do it. And then after that, you send them to the next thing. And there's this little process. So that may take a little more time than just one hit on one page, right? But the next step that I want to cover here in the system, and this is what you'll have to develop for yourself, is the closing. This is where you do a consult call or a conversion event or something that will allow you to answer questions and bring them through the objections that they may have, or the questions and concerns that they have, and bring them from wanting your process and your program to actually getting into it. Because there's an important transition there. They have to become a client, and that involves going to a page with a buy now button and a form that they fill out and their credit card number and all that. So that process, that conversion or consult call or conversion event takes place differently for everyone. What I like to do is get people on a phone call, answer their questions, go over any concerns that they may have. And when they're ready, there's no pressure, no force to try to talk somebody into anything or persuade them, because that doesn't work out well for anybody. Dream clients really want to work with you after they get to know you and your process. It's a no-brainer. It's clear. This is what I want. This is what I need for my business. If any of you are starting to feel that way about what we're talking about today, later on I'll be making an offer to you to work together. And what we'll do is get on a phone call, and no pressure, no persuading or arm twisting or anything like that. But it'll be you wanting to work with me because you know and like me and hopefully trust me. So we've gone through that know, like, and trust process that everybody goes through before they make any purchase, just about, especially higher ticket things. People begin to get to know you, then they either like you or they don't, and they trust you enough to trade money for value that they receive. Your clients do the same with you. So this conversion event, like I said, may be different looking for each one. Maybe phone calls, maybe it involves a personal visit. If you've got a physical place where people have to show up and sign a contract and sit there at your desk, and that's okay, that's awesome, but it's not that way for everybody. Some people don't really require a call, and they can just send people to a sign-up page where they would fill out information and sign up. I like to use an application process, and really it sort of helps filter out those that really aren't interested in, that aren't a good fit. So we book a call, we talk it over, we see if there is a way to work together and what would make the most sense, and if people are willing to invest a few minutes of their time to talk with me, usually they're pretty interested. And then I gather some more information so that I can determine whether or not they're a good fit for the program. Great. So you've gone through the process. Let's take another break here. I think you guys I know I need to take a drink and kind of get my brain back in gear again. I want you to take a little time over this break to sit down and fill in some of that information. Think about the 3 stages here. What would be some of the hot button things that people would go after of your dream clients? What are some little problems that are really urgent feeling for them that they would want to solve, or that would seem really attractive for them in the grand scope of everything that you offer for them? Okay, think through what some of those initial hot things could be, or maybe make a list of all the different things that could be used as lead magnet ideas. What would pull them in to your world? What could you offer, even in terms of a simple graphic illustration, maybe a checklist or something, 1 page, easy to produce, that would be attractive to your dream clients? And then think through a little bit on your second page, after they've come in, they've gotten it, they've signed up to receive that, and they've given you their name and email or their phone number, whatever it is, they will have a little video. And I know it's kind of not going to be enough time right now to actually outline that, but start thinking of some ideas. What could you talk about? In what way could you present what you've already given them? Because maybe you want to make almost a mini tutorial about how to use what they've downloaded, right? And then show how that fits into a bigger picture, your product grid. Great. So outline that a little bit, and maybe if there are further steps, what do you think would work best for your clients in their journey towards becoming a client? Would they be able to go from watching a video right to a sales page? Would they need to go to a phone call with you first? Would they need to do some other maybe deepening experiences first in a group or a webinar kind of format? Think through what would work best with your dream clients. And then think through a little bit of what your conversion experience would be like. What is ideally the best way? And maybe you do different things at different times with different people. And I want you to focus in, hone in on one way of doing it. Maybe it's a phone call. Great. We close all our clients using a phone call now, from now on. Make that sort of a policy. Make that the way your system works. And then you can train people. You can rapidly scale that up. If you've got it organized and systematized and made into a process, you can train other people to have that phone call because you've given them a script that works. You've shown them what the main objections are and how to answer those. I think you're starting to understand, right? If you've got every client closes a different way, you can't scale that. So you're going to need to systematize all of this, really. So pick one way. That reminds me, something that I didn't cover is all of this. I want you to think of one. You've got one client that you search for, one dream client. You've got one statement. This is the one thing that you do. You've got one grid. This is your one product. Later, when this is rolling, you can start to branch out. But if you've got one product that works, and this is what you're selling, focus on that. One person, one how, one dream outcome, that you offer, and one product to deliver that. Then you're going to start with one lead magnet. Later, you'll do other ones. That lead magnet will focus on one problem. It'll solve one problem for that one client. You'll do one authority amplifier instrument, whether it's a video or something else to start with. Then you're going to do one process for conversions. And this could be a sales call or whatever, like I said, but only pick one, okay? One. Then we're going to move on up to talking about the third stage here, which is where the magic happens, because this is called the boom. And this is where the fun begins, okay? I want you to take a little break, work on those things, share with me right afterwards what you've really come away with and what's been best, and I'll reward some more prizes for you for those that complete the assignments, and let's see what magic you come up with, okay? Take a few minutes.